I had to apologize. Well, I did apologize to Sonny for being, I was actually kind of like acting like a brat and being ungrateful. Because it's not easy for me. It's been a challenge to accept that this Bigfoot is talking to me. It is teaching me. But last night, he came and took me to another realm, or whatever, what we might think is heaven. And we might call this a near-death experience, but it's more like leaving here. This here is my death experience, and when I go there, that's my life experience. And he took me, and I went to see my spirit clan, and I got to see all of their faces, and I love them, and they love me, and I never thought that I would get to see them, and I actually wasn't sure they existed until last night. And I know that they are more real than what is here, because everything here just testifies of death and hate in this reality that a lot of us are in. And I'm able to still be here and see people suffering, but also be in the reality of pure love. And it's how I witness this world, is with pure love now. And never ever crossed my mind that a Bigfoot could be my spiritual teacher. But I had hypnotherapy, and I'm having understanding as well as recall and understanding of a lot of experiences I've had. And one is that when I was 15 years old, I took an overdose of LSD. And at the time, I was in high school, and my boyfriend and his brother and his friends, or his brothers and his friends, were known as the Fry Guys at school. I went to Ukiah High School in Mendocino County, California. They were the Fry Guys, and yeah, they got busted by the FBI for counterfeiting money, and the money was so professionally done that they got immunity in exchange for giving over the glass plates and that they used. They learned how to do it in silk screening class at high school. These are the smartest guys in the world. Yeah, so, and I was just like them. I was counterfeiting city bus passes. I didn't have time. I had to start supporting myself at a young age, because I left home at age 14, and I just kept running away and wouldn't stay home. So yeah, apparently my high school love, Ryan, put his M80s in my locker, and I was also selling stolen alcohol out of my locker. And closed my locker door in the gymnasium and broke a bottle of schnapps. and it leaked all over the floor, and I got busted. I didn't know I got busted, but I got busted. So the morning that I'm getting ready to go to school, I realized that I washed a sheet of gels in my pants. And if you don't know what LSD is, usually, like, if you've taken it, you've had blotter, which is like sprayed on these tiny little tabs of paper, which just pull apart into little squares, and you put it on your tongue. I had a sheet of gels that was not paper, very pure. They were green gels, and nothing you could take nowadays, because everything here in 2022 that I've ever experienced or seen, they're not pure. They're laced in toxic chemicals. I mean, back in the day, we had strychnine in the blotter, but there was no strychnine in these gels. And when I saw that they were wet inside my pants pocket, I took the whole pocket and cut it out with a pair of scissors and sucked on it all morning. Oh yeah. And I remember getting to school, and I remember being told that I was being arrested for felony explosives and alcohol in my locker. And as soon as we got to the sheriff department, I left the sheriff department, and I went into a cave, and I knew it was a snow cave, and the beings who were there were tall with long white hair, and they were very loving, benevolent beings. And I didn't know what they were. I was thinking they looked like a polar bear, but they stood on 2 feet, and they wore clothes. These ones, I think, were wearing clothes. And yeah, that's how I transitioned into there, because I was looking at the sheriff, the officer, and it changed from him to that, and then I was there. And I don't remember anything that happened to me. I was completely there in that snow cave for 4 days. And when I woke up out of it, I didn't even know I was like, why am I here? Why am I here? But I remembered being in the station, so I just didn't remember, like, how I got into juvenile detention. And I spent a lot of time in juvenile detention. A lot of time. Never as an adult, because I learned, and I got better about things. Yeah, when I ran away from my group home, one of the other girls in the group home stole the money bag that was from the bank, or going to the bank, that belonged to our group home. And so after I turned myself in, you know, after running away, I wanted to come back. I wanted to go back to the group home. I didn't know why I left. There was no reason at all. But I was arrested, and I was charged with felony or grand theft. Yeah, it was a felony. And this was the time I didn't do it. I never got in trouble for most of the stuff I ever did. I never even got in trouble. Nobody ever knew. what I was doing to survive. What I was doing just because. And I got, let's see, I was 16 when that happened, and I was sentenced to, I was 21, so I was going to spend a lot of time in jail. And, like, I would go from juvenile detention, I guess, up to the jail. So, 3 months into that sentence, I got called to talk to my probation officer, and I'm like, okay, you know, tra-la-la-la. I go up there, and she's like, you're getting out. I said, what? Oh, what? You know, and I think it's because the only thing in my heart then, I didn't have revenge or hate in my heart yet. The whole time I was there, I was just cold, and I cried for my dad all the time. Every night, I called for my dad. I cried for my dad. My dad loved me. I knew he loved me. That's why I missed him. Trust me, I didn't miss my mom. Because she had never shown any compassion or love or tenderness or understanding or anything but hate towards me. So, but I had very loving support in ways that aren't traditional. Whoa. So talking to Sonny, one of the things he told me is that they are masters from Tibet. And when I took that overdose of LSD, that's where I went with the masters there. And that's why I don't remember. But I was there. I mean, I do remember going there. And I do know that I was gone for 4 days. And that's where I was. And I believe, Sonny, like, I'm not gonna make life decisions or take drastic actions if I'm told to by a Bigfoot. That's a boundary I set with Sonny. Like, just because you tell me something, I don't give blind faith to anything, even a Bigfoot. Like, just because you're a Bigfoot doesn't mean you're, like, the creator of my soul. So I'm protective of my soul and what I do with my soul. I'm alive in Christ. And I am a believer in a loving God who is on my side. On my side. And so shortly after overdosing on the LSD, I went into that group home. And our summer vacation was going to Mount Shasta. And when we got up there, well, before we went there, there was a woman, an elderly lady that came, and she was our guide. She's going to take us on the hike up to Mount Shasta and camp with us on the meadow up there. And I was acting out so inappropriately while she was there. She put me on her lap and held me. And I mean extremely inappropriately acting out and letting someone sexually abuse me in front of others. Oh, because this is how damaged I was, y'all. I did not know that was inappropriate. I didn't know. Because that's how I was raised. And forced to live for years. And she smudged me on Mount Shasta. When I got up there, we all have to take off our shoes because you're not allowed to walk in the meadow with shoes. So I'm walking in there barefoot, and I found a black obsidian stone right away. And then later, I was smudged and sent on a vision quest. And during that vision quest, this tall man, young man, like 30-ish, with two younger women, looked like they're 20s, approached me. And the tall man, like, he was a white man with long blonde dreadlocks. There might have been like a tinge of red in them, but I think they were blonde anyways. He asked me, "Do you want to come with us?" And I knew what that meant. I knew I could be done. I knew it. I could be done with this life, and I could go with them into a blissful place, a beautiful place. I knew I could go. And I said, I can't. There were so many times I really regretted that. But that's just how I am. Even if I don't want to, I do what I gotta do, and I gotta do this life. Not that I got to. I got to. I got to. Fuck yeah, I got to do this life. And he gave me an agate with a flame inside of it. And I managed to hang on to that till I was in my 40s, and I was in one of the long-term bed-bound illnesses I've endured in this life. And so I got taken to the hospital, and I had been infusing the Hoshin stones in water, like in the sun, and then like adding lemons to them and drinking it. And left that like out on the coffee table, and asked my best friend to please, you know, I paid her to clean my house, so I'd have a clean house to go home to after the hospital. And there was like mold growing in that water, and she didn't see the stones in there, and she threw it all out into the bushes in my backyard. And I can only imagine that was part of God's plan too. Like Mount Shasta and that energy got anchored in southern Utah. One of the most evil places on earth. The most evil place on earth, my experience of it. So, and you know, I mourn the loss of that stone, but now everything I've never had in this life is being given to me in my new life, and I'm experiencing it right now. It's just not what I thought it would be. And hi, little boy up on his balcony. Yeah. Anyways, it's of course it's odd. It's very strange, but I love it.